Según Mirlo Rojo, aquellas luces parecían esperar al Apolo 11. Eran muy brillantes y volaban en perfecta formación. Poco después se alejaron a gran velocidad, desapareciendo hacia la superficie de la Luna. Los astronautas tenían razón. Aquello parecía un recibimiento.
One reception, one greeting, that's the correct word. Really is the correct word. Those, I can say, events that happened to the astronauts of NASA really were communicated to me at that time, even in the past, before the events and after the events. I was noticed about it even from the beginning of the knowledge of these events. For that I can say that it happened to me to have the really and the real connection of the events of what happened, of all minute by minute, second by second, I can say, of all that what's happening with the Apollo 11 and all the mission of the Apollos and another mission of NASA, because my communication told me the events, and I am showing to you that what the event happened at that time, in which we're taking all the events day by day and in connection with different antennas of all the whole universe, even from the future and different kind of times. Technologies were shown to me dependent of my movement, of the movement of my mind, and the mind in connection with different types of civilization that were communicated to me, the events of were happening at that time. For that, it was really a reception, it was really a greeting, I can say, with the retinues of the space, ships, space, and from all over the world in the universe. I can credit that, but maybe you can credit me and the aliens will credit that my contact is all over the time.
Have some explanation for that. We have none. Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something super fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way. Well, that's kind of rich and pretty spectacular. God, what is that there? That's Apollo. What the hell is that? Go tango, tango. There's kind of light there now.
Al otro lado del cráter, existente a poco más de 60 metros del Águila, habían aparecido unas naves y unos seres, objetos en forma de disco y perfectamente alineados sobre el terreno. Y junto a ellos varios seres muy altos, con trajes blancos y ajustados. Cuando los astronautas, obedeciendo las insistentes órdenes de Houston, trataron de filmar, objetos y seres desaparecieron. Y llegó el momento culminante, el verdadero objetivo de Apolo 11, la secreta razón que impulsó a los militares a conquistar la Luna.
There was something out there that was close enough to be observed, and what could it be?
Traveling alongside Apollo 11 was a mysterious object, like this one filmed on a later mission. If the object wasn't part of Apollo's rocket, it could be only one thing: a UFO.
Mike decided he thought he could see it in the telescope, and he was able to do that. And when it was in one position, that it had a series of ellipses. But when you made it real sharp, it was sort of L-shaped. That didn't tell us very much.
NASA knew very little about the object reported by the Apollo 11 crew. It was obviously an unidentified flying object, but such objects were not uncommon, and the history of even Earth orbit space flights going back over the previous years indicated that several crews saw objects.
Apollo 11, Houston, the S4B is about 6,000 nautical miles from you now, over.
And a few moments later, why they came back and said something like it was 6,000 miles away because of the maneuvers.
To this day, whatever it was the crew saw has never been positively identified or officially acknowledged.
The possibility that you might encounter aliens in space has to be considered in a very sensible and positive and realistic way. There were a lot of people within the program who went off later and became convinced that UFOs existed. And that led to some concern on NASA's part, where they got the agreement of the crew never to publicly talk about these things for fear of ridicule.
In this ship, Hugo was transported at different times by the chronos of the future, that like one can see the explosion, it is so much of entrance as of exit of the ship, in Big River, in San Salvador de Jujuy, Argentina. The picture was taken while this happened through that potent light. The ship enters in the time and the matter where the impressive thing is the real of the physical ship in the precise moment.